5 secrets of Omar Khayyam that will help you find peace in a noisy world. More than 9 centuries ago, the Persian poet, mathematician, and philosopher Omar Khayyam wrote in his quatrains what most people are afraid even to think aloud. He spoke of death without fear, of joy without shame, and of God without hypocrisy. He lived in an age of wars, palace intrigues, and religious disputes, yet he knew how to find inner silence while chaos ruled around him. Today, when the world has become louder, faster, and more anxious than ever, his wisdom sounds not like a historical relic, but like a living guide for action. Here are 5 secrets Khayyam left to everyone seeking peace.
Secret 1. Selectivity is your armor. Keep company with the wise and learn wisdom. Keep company with fools and lose it. Khayyam lived at court and knew well how destructive one's environment can be. He saw intelligent people gradually grow dull among flatterers and chatterers. He saw palace intrigues burn out the soul more surely than illness. And he came to a hard conclusion: who you spend time with determines who you become. Today, this problem has multiplied many times over. Once, a fool could spoil the mood of one person. Now, millions. Social media, news feeds, talk shows, endless comments under strangers' posts, all of it is a flood of chujikh opinions, fears, and aggression pouring into us from morning till night. We consume information like fast food, quickly, thoughtlessly, then wonder why our hearts feel heavy. Khayyam offers a simple but courageous principle: be selective. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every person deserves your energy. Surround yourself with those who think, question, and grow, and you yourself will begin to think deeper and breathe freer. This is not snobbery, it is hygiene of the mind. Practically, it means unfollow sources that spread panic, limit time on social media, review your contacts, and honestly ask, who among these people makes me better? It may be painful, but that pain is the beginning of peace.
Secret 2. Gratitude for little things is the path to great happiness. Better to live hungry in your homeland than feast with honey and wine at a stranger's table. We live in a civilization of endless insufficiency. Advertising, social media, consumer culture all tell us the same thing: what you have is not enough. You need another car, another body, another house, another life. And so we run. We run after salaries, status, and other people's approval. But happiness, like the horizon, stays the same distance away. Khayyam saw differently. He knew how to find fullness in simple things: a jug of wine, the shade of a tree, conversation with a friend, a rose petal by an old wall. His verses are full of sensual, almost physical joy in the present moment. He did not preach asceticism, he preached attentiveness. The difference is enormous. Attentiveness to small things is not poverty of spirit, it is richness of perception. When you truly notice the taste of morning coffee, the warmth of sunlight on your face, the laughter of a child in the next room, you stop being hostage to the future. You return to where life actually happens, now. Neuroscience confirms what Khayyam knew intuitively. A brain trained to notice what is good in the present literally changes its structure. It becomes less anxious and more resilient. Gratitude is not sentimentality, it is neuroplasticity. Start with one simple practice. Every evening, name 3 things you are grateful for today. Not great achievements, small moments. Real life is woven from them.
Secret 3. Forgiving yourself is wisdom, not weakness. I am sinful, yes, but God is merciful. I hope that I shall be forgiven. One of the most surprising aspects of Khayyam's philosophy is his softness toward human nature. In an age when religious preachers competed in severity, he wrote of sin without terror and forgiveness without pleading. He did not pretend humans are perfect, but neither did he believe imperfection makes a person unworthy of life or joy. Self-punishment is one of the most destructive habits of modern people. We do not merely make mistakes, we build prisons from them and live inside for years. A failed marriage, a ruined project, a word spoken in anger, a missed chance, all become burdens we carry long after it is time to let them go. Khayyam offers another logic. A mistake is not a sentence, but a lesson. A person who never erred either did nothing or lies. Real wisdom is not flawlessness. It is the ability to rise, learn, and continue without drama or self-cruelty. Psychology has long shown that people who forgive themselves do not become irresponsible. On the contrary, they take more responsibility because they are no longer afraid to fail. Fear of judgment, especially self-judgment, paralyzes. Self-compassion liberates. Speak to yourself as you would speak to a friend you love. You would not destroy them for weakness. Why do it to yourself?
Secret 4. Silence is the road back to yourself. Be silent, hide within, and guard your feelings and dreams. These words belong to Tuchev, but the spirit would have been familiar to Khayyam. Every wise person knows the value of inner silence. Khayyam wrote much about solitude, not as punishment or escape, but as a necessary condition for hearing oneself. In his time, loneliness was a luxury. Court life, bazaars, mosques, endless movement of people and words. Today it is the same, only 10 times louder. We are surrounded by sound almost continuously. Music in headphones, podcasts on the road, television in the background, notifications every few minutes. But in silence, something important happens. Thoughts stop jumping and begin arranging themselves. Intuition, long drowned by noise, starts speaking. Questions we avoided about meaning, direction, what we truly want, stop being frightening and become alive. Khayyam understood a person who is never alone with themselves eventually becomes a stranger to themselves. They live by other people's desires, fears, and definitions of success, until forced silence, illness, loss, or crisis suddenly reveals they do not know who they are. Solitude does not require a monastery. 20 minutes in the morning is enough, without phone, music, or tasks, just you and silence. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. The mind will generate anxiety and distractions. That is normal. That discomfort is proof of how deeply you need the practice. Continue, and gradually in the silence, what Khayyam called the true self will begin to appear. Calm, deep, knowing. Secret 5. Love as the foundation of everything. He whose heart holds no love for beauty is not alive. Only he lives who holds life like a rose. When we speak of love in Khayyam, it is easy to get stuck on images of wine and a beloved woman and miss the essence. Behind those images stands something much greater. Love as a way of being in the world. Not as a feeling that comes and goes, but as a stance, a choice, a foundation upon which everything else rests. Khayyam loved life in all its contradictions, its beauty and cruelty, its brevity and infinity. He did not close his eyes to death. He looked it in the face and still chose joy. There lies the paradox and strength of his philosophy. Awareness of mortality did not kill his love of life. It sharpened it, sweetened it, made it real. Modern people often confuse love with dependency on a partner, approval, or results. Khayyam speaks of another kind of love, the kind that does not demand reciprocity from circumstances. Love for sunrise, for a good book, for the smell of earth after rain, for your own body carrying you through the years. Love for people, not because they are perfect, but because they are alive as you are. This love is an antidote to cynicism, which grows so easily in a noisy and anxious world. When everything around screams of catastrophe and threat, love of life becomes an act of resistance, not naive, but conscious. Khayyam knew the tragedy of the world no less than we do, and still he chose the rose, the wine, and the poem, because he understood that is the answer. Instead of an afterword, Khayyam's 5 secrets are not rules for a perfect life. They are 5 points of support to return to again and again when the world grows too loud and the mind too crowded. Selectivity in your circle, gratitude for little things, forgiving yourself, silence of solitude, love as the foundation. 9 centuries ago, one man sat in his garden in Nishapur, looked at the stars, and wrote quatrains that would outlive empires. He did not know they would reach us, but he knew he was speaking of eternal things. And he was right.